In this clip here, you can see an Avanti West Coast Class 390 Pendolino train departing Glasgow Central Station, the northern terminus of the West Coast Main Line that links London with Glasgow, Edinburgh, Birmingham, Liverpool, Manchester, and other big towns and cities in between. Another major railway line is the East Coast Main Line that also links London with Edinburgh. It also serves Leeds, Newcastle, Alnmouth, Darlington, Durham, Peterbrough, and some trains go on to other places like Lincoln, Bradford, Sunderland, Aberdeen and Inverness, as well as Hull. Today, I'm going to be doing something different than the usual West Coast Main Line content. I'll be riding on London North Euston Railway, the East Coast Main Line's operator, from London King's Cross to Alnmouth in Northumberland in first class. This is going to be my first time doing a really long ride on the East Coast Main Line. When I was a kid, I once rode from Alnmouth to Edinburgh Waverley on one of the old Class 91 trains. But today, I'm going to be going from London King's Cross to Alnmouth, Northumberland on the LNER Azuma train in first class. It's going to be my first time going first class. It's going to be a really good video. You guys are not going to want to miss this video. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the video, guys. Here we are on approach to London Euston train station, the southern terminus of the West Coast Main Line. I'm arriving from Milton Keynes Central Station, my local. Here's a fact: the East Coast and West Coast Main Line meet at Edinburgh Haymarket Station, which is 5 minutes away from the main Edinburgh Waverley Station. Earlier this year, I rode Avanti West Coast on a long journey from Milton Keynes to Edinburgh Waverley. If you want to, you can watch that video. Also, I am going back to Glasgow in October with Avanti West Coast. But for now, we're at London Euston Station, and I shortly will be heading over to London King's Cross Station, the southern terminus of the East Coast Main Line. Anyway guys, this is enough of the West Coast now. Let's head over to London King's Cross Station, the southern terminus of the East Coast Main Line, a spectacular station. Let's go. After a short ride in a London taxi, here we are at London King's Cross. The station saw an 84.2 million entries and exits from March 2023 to March 2024. The stunning white roof over the concourse was completed in 2012. King's Cross is a gateway to Cambridgeshire, Hertfordshire, Lincolnshire, Nottinghamshire, Humberside, Yorkshire, Tyne and Wear, Northumberland and Scotland. My train today will be the 11:30 to Edinburgh, departing from platform 6. The service will call at Peterbrough, Newark Northgate, Doncaster, York, Darlington, Durham, Newcastle, Alnmouth, which is where I'm going, and finally Edinburgh. Cool then guys, so we are now on board the LNER Azuma at London King's Cross, the 11:30 to Edinburgh Waverley, and we are going to be riding to Alnmouth here. I'm currently sat in first class. We're going to pay the upgrade fee when we're on board this train, so our train is departing King's Cross at 11:30, heading to Edinburgh Waverley. Our first stop is Peterbrough. Never been on the LNER Azuma before, I'm very excited to try it out. So yeah, very looking forward to it. So I have ridden the East Coast Main Line before, from Alnmouth to Edinburgh Waverley in 2019, but I haven't ridden on it from King's Cross. This is my first time doing that, so yeah, very excited. Our train departs King's Cross on time at 11:30 and we are due in at Alnmouth at 9 minutes past 3. The longest journey you can take from King's Cross is to Inverness in the Scottish Highlands, which can take about 8 hours. Let me know in the comments, would you want to do that journey? Because I would if I'm doing it in first class for sure. Shortly after leaving King's Cross, our train slowly picks up speed and passes the Emirates Stadium, home to Arsenal Football Club. On this particular day, August 23rd, 2025, Arsenal beat Leeds United 5-0. For those of you who don't know, I'm a massive Newcastle United fan. Up the tune. While still in London, our LNER Azuma speeds past Hornsey Depot, where Thameslink and Great Northern maintain their Class 700, 717 and 387 trains. Now outside of London, we speed along the Digswell Viaduct over Welwyn Garden City, and then we pass through Welwyn North Station. Before arriving into Peterbrough, the crew came round and gave us a packet of crisps and a bottle of water before the main meal. We also have the first class dining menu. Around 50 minutes after leaving King's Cross, our train arrives at Peterborough station. The city of Peterborough has a population of 220,000 people. Peterborough station is a major station on the East Coast Main Line, with most LNER services stopping here. Peterborough is also the northern terminus of the Thameslink network, with trains to Croydon, Horsham, Brighton and more. The station also sees services by East Midlands Railway and Cross Country. We depart Peterborough and shortly the main meal will be coming. The next stop is Newark Northgate station in Nottinghamshire. After Peterborough, the crew came round with the main food. I went for the Capri salad wrap, which has chicken, pesto, tomato and mozzarella in it. It was absolutely stunning. Because I travelled on a Saturday, the first class food is more snacky and smaller items rather than full meals on a plate. It was still amazing though. The full meals you get are more likely to be on, well, it actually is on the weekday services on any UK train operator. Okay, now let's talk about the seats. We've got a table here. The seats in the legroom are very good in first class, I must say. The first class seats on LNER are a brown colour, I like it, and the seats are very comfortable. Before long, our train arrived at Newark Northgate station in Nottinghamshire. The town of Newark has a population of 29,800 people and the town lies on the banks of the River Trent. Our train departs Newark Northgate station. The next station is Doncaster in South Yorkshire. Newark Northgate is served by some LNER services. The station also sees services from East Midlands Railway. Their trains head to nearby Lincoln. LNER also serve Lincoln as well. Our train just went over the Newark Flat Crossing. The Newark Flat Crossing is the only flat crossing left on the UK rail network. It is where the East Coast Main Line and the Nottingham to Lincoln line meet. This is also where LNER trains heading from London to Lincoln head off the East Coast Main Line. As our train speeds through the countryside, let's talk about our train. Our train is the class 801, part of the Hitachi Intercity Express train family. The other trains in this family is the class 800, which is bi-mode, meaning it can use electricity by using its pantograph, and it can also use diesel power. The Class 801 which we are on is electric only, meaning it can only use its pantograph to get electricity from the overhead wires. The Class 800 and 801 is used by LNER, and the Class 800 is also used by Great Western Railway. There is a Class 802, also a bi-mode train, operated by Great Western Railway and TransPennine Express. The Class 803 is electric only and is used by Lumo. Lumo trains, they're the budget company that operate services between London and Edinburgh. Avanti West Coast use the Class 805 and 807. The 805 is bi-mode, meaning it can run electric and diesel, and 807 is electric only. All of these trains were built by Hitachi in County Durham, and I think some of them were built in Japan as well, but I'm not too sure. Between Newark and Doncaster, our train speeds past Retford Station. Only LNER services bound for Leeds stop here. There's also a low-level part of the station, which is situated on the Sheffield to Lincoln line. Hull trains operate service at the station as well, using their Class 802 bi-mode trains, which I forgot to mention. We then arrive at Doncaster Station in South Yorkshire. This is where Leeds-bound trains exit the core section of the East Coast Main Line and travel on the Leeds branch of the East Coast Main Line. Doncaster is also where trains to Hull split off the East Coast Main Line. Also, Northern and TransPennine Express trains use the station with services to Sheffield, Manchester, Scunthorpe, Scarborough and Grimsby. East Midlands Railway also use the station with services to Lincoln and Sheffield.
Thank you for including LNER in your travel plans today, wherever you're off to now. Have a safe onward journey, and we hope to see you again on one of our services very soon. This is Doncaster.
We are now departing Doncaster, and the next station is York. Like I said, Doncaster is where intercity trains split off to Hull, Leeds, Lincoln, Scunthorpe and Grimsby and more. So most intercity trains north of Doncaster are trains bound for York or Scotland. At York, Northern use their regional trains to the likes of Hull, Sheffield, Leeds, Skipton and more.
Hello, and welcome on board this LNER Azuma to Edinbrugh Waverley. We will call at York.
Now's the perfect time to talk about LNER's routes. LNER serve many towns and cities. The flagship route is London to Edinburgh, but they also serve other Scottish destinations like Aberdeen and Inverness. Trains bound there call at other Scottish towns and cities like Falkirk, Perth, Dundee and Stirling. LNER also serve Leeds, Lincoln, Harrogate, Skipton, Bradford and more smaller towns and cities. Prior to the December 2024 timetable change, LNER provided direct trains that would head to Stirling and Glasgow Central, but these services were removed, but LNER still serves Stirling. With the removal of the Glasgow service, LNER no longer serve Motherwell. Before I knew it, we were on approach to York. York, in my opinion, is one of the UK's most legendary railway cities, and I'll tell you why. It's halfway between London and Edinburgh on the East Coast Main Line. York's home to the National Railway Museum, which is 50 years old in 2025. York is also home to the Network Rail's Rail Operations Centre, which is people who work there look and control the signalling system and rail maps all over the UK and on the East Coast Main Line. York Station is very grand and beautiful. I'd like to come here for trainspotting and go to the National Railway Museum one day.
It's the York Flight for Liberty.
We soon depart York, now heading to Darlington. Between York and Newcastle, the East Coast Main Line offers some amazing views.
Okay.
In North Yorkshire, the countryside is very flat, meaning we are treated to a nice view. Our train then speeds through Northumberland station. Some LNER services call here, but the station is mostly served by Grand Central services to Sunderland, Transpennine Express services to Redcar, Manchester and Liverpool, and of course the southbound Grand Central services to London and the occasional LNER service. We are now approaching Darlington station. The town of Darlington is 13 miles west of the city of Middlesborugh in Teesside, and Darlington is home to the Teesside University, despite not being in Teesside. Darlington is in County Durham. The world's first railway opened 200 years ago in 1825, the Stockton and Darlington Railway. Darlington station nowadays is a hub for services around County Durham and Teesside.
Have a good journey. Take care. Bye-bye. Thanks a lot.
Now setting off from Darlington, there are only a few more stops on this train: Durham, which is the next stop, Newcastle, Alnmouth and Edinburgh Waverley. In between Darlington and Durham, we pass a Class 66 freight locomotive working a container train from Moss End Freight Terminal in Glasgow to Teesdock Freight Terminal. Continuing between the two, we cruise through some lovely countryside. We are now approaching Durham train station. Durham is a cathedral city. We're treated to a stunning view of the city on approach to the station, seeing Durham Cathedral and Durham Castle, as well as lots of houses. Now leaving Durham, our train heads towards Chester Lee Street and Newcastle. Now speeding again, our train passes through the town of Chester Lee Street. Chester Lee Street is close to Newcastle and Sunderland. LNER trains do not stop at Chester Lee Street station, only Transpennine Express and Northern stop there. We are now and truly in the northeast of England when you can see the Angel of the North. The Angel of the North marks the end of County Durham and the start of Tyne and Wear, as well as Gateshead. Here it is. After speeding through the town of Chesterley Street, our train now passes through Gateshead. Gateshead is a huge area. The city lies on the south banks of the River Tyne and has a population of around 196,000 people. As we pass through some residential area in Gateshead, our train now starts to slow down for Newcastle.
Thank you for travelling with LNER.
We're on approach to Newcastle when you can see almost every bridge over the River Tyne. The bridge we're on is the King Edward V Bridge carrying the East Coast Main Line into Newcastle. The blue one is the Queen Elizabeth II Bridge carrying the Tyne and Wear Metro into Gateshead and then towards Sunderland. There's the high level bridge carrying national rail lines to Heworth and Sunderland and more. The smaller one is the Swing Bridge. The green one is the Tyne Bridge carrying the A167 road, and there's also the Gateshead Millennium Bridge, which is white. Here we are on approach to Newcastle train station. The city of Newcastle upon Tyne is England's northernmost city, and in my opinion it's one of the UK's best. I love it because it's a mixture of old and new architecture, its people, the football team Newcastle United, and the best food in town, Greggs. I've been coming up here basically every year since I was a baby. This is why I love it so much, and there's so many more reasons. I can name why Newcastle is the best city. I just can't fit it all in this clip. Here we are now departing Newcastle station. I can confirm that I've done train spotting at this station. The video has been filmed and it's coming to the channel very soon. I also filmed at nearby Manor station, which we will pass through in a second. On the right hand side is the railway line to Heworth and Sunderland over the high level bridge across the River Tyne. We also get to see the top of the Tyne Bridge. Once again, here is the railway line over to Heworth and Sunderland over the River Tyne. Here is the Newcastle Castle itself.
Hello, and welcome on board this LNER Azuma to Edinbrugh Waverley.
This is Manor Station. It serves the Shieldfield and Quayside areas of Newcastle and only sees northern services stop here. Here it is, Manor Station. After leaving Manors, you'll be able to see the Tyne and Wear Metro once again. It's on the far right hand side. A bit further down the line is the Ousburn Viaduct, which carries the East Coast Main Line over the Ousburn Valley. There's also the Biker Viaduct that carries the Tyne and Wear Metro over the Ousburn Valley into Biker. That is eastbound into Biker, and then westbound is Manors Metro Station. That's the Tyne and Wear Metro on the far right hand side. Pretty cool. I've done a video about that if you guys are interested. And there you can see is the Biker Viaduct, and you can see the top of the Biker Wall as well, and we're currently on the Ousburn Viaduct on the East Coast Main Line. Here are some tower block flaps as well in Biker. Still in the city of Newcastle, we pass through Heaton, a suburb east of the city centre. Here is Heaton Traction Maintenance Depot, where LNER, Northern and TransPennine Express maintain and stable their trains. There's also a GBRF Class 60 pulling a bunch of wagons as well here at Heaton Traction Maintenance Depot. Pretty cool. We are now approaching the end of our journey today on the East Coast Main Line as we are passing through Moorburn Station in Northumberland, 16 miles north of Newcastle. As we are on final approach to Alnmouth, let's talk about today's journey. For my first time in first class, it was amazing. The staff were friendly and helpful, the food was delicious, the seats were comfortable, and I had a great legroom, and I thoroughly enjoyed my journey with LNER today. The only negatives were the Wi-Fi was terrible, and I chose to use mobile data on my phone, and at some points in the journey the ride quality was bad, and some of my personal items on the table almost fell onto the floor. Other than that, a perfect journey for my first time travelling first class. I recommend upgrading for a long journey like this, what I've done today, from London to the northeast of England, or even to Scotland. If you guys are travelling to Scotland, I definitely recommend travelling first class. It's so worth it. For a good price as well, £45, well worth it. Especially with LNER as well, it is the perfect service. You guys will love it if you do it. My LNER Azuma is going to continue 87 miles up to Edinburgh Waverley Station this afternoon. I'd like to thank you guys so much for watching this video. You can click here to watch more train videos I've done. You can also look at my playlist. You can subscribe to the channel if you absolutely love the content. I upload multiple times a day on TikTok and Instagram. The links to them in the description. You can follow me on them. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Train spotting in Newcastle, Manners, the return journey, Alnmouth train spotting, all coming. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you in the next video.